Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Jam. I am your host, Jarvis Johnson, and today we have a truly inspiring guest with us. Our guest today is Cianna Hoyos, a high school student who was diagnosed with cancer. While this diagnosis may have rocked anyone's world, Cianna has shown incredible courage and determination. Today, Cianna is here to share her journey, how it all started, the challenges she faced, and how she found the strength in the midst of uncertainty. But this isn't just a story about illness. It's about hope, community, and the power of a positive mindset when life throws the hardest challenges your way. So sit back, enjoy the show, and get ready to hear her amazing story of perseverance. Cianna, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Man, I'm so lucky to have this guest on the show, and I know she's going to talk about something that is very touching to her. When I first asked her to be on the podcast, she's actually like, Coach, I can be on your podcast. And I asked her what she had to talk about, and it really shocked me when she was like, well, we can talk about when I had cancer. And I'm sure she was shocked about how fast I turned around and was like, okay, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me your story. So we're going to go through it today, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So, Cianna, can you take us back to the moment when you first found out about your cancer, and what was that like for you as a freshman in high school?
Yeah, so I had just moved from a new district. I moved over here to Northwest. I didn't really know anyone. This was like back around January 6th. I went into the hospital, complaining about pain because, I had really bad pain in my stomach. So my mom took me to the hospital, and they ran all these tests on me to see what was wrong with me. They did an ultrasound, and they ended up telling us that I had a tumor the size of a basketball. It was like a 15-pound tumor in my stomach. So being a freshman in high school, like kind of going through that, is just kind of shocking because it's like, it's like a slap in the face. Like you don't expect for that to happen. So, they told us 3 days later, on the 8th, I got surgery, and I was in the hospital for about a month. 3 days after my surgery, they told us like that it was cancerous. And yeah, I was just like in the hospital for about a month, so it's just kind of like, you move to a new district, you already don't know anyone. And so it's like a whole new school year, and you're already missing half of that school year because, you're in the hospital. So it kind of sucks.
So how did that diagnosis affect your daily life and your routine at the time, especially, like you said, you were starting in a new school? How did that affect your daily life and your routine at that time?
Well, it was just kind of like, it sucked because, I'd go to school, and then when I was at school, like, it just kind of made me, like, having this tumor in me it made me very lazy, like, didn't want to do anything, had no motivation for anything. So I'd come to school, wouldn't talk to anyone. I would just, kind of just sleep through my classes, go home, sleep. I didn't really have such a big social life, And then I think another thing too, like, it's really random, but I was very insecure because it looked like I was pregnant, like I was really pregnant. So, I was just kind of like shy to kind of talk to other people and make friends with other people, knowing like I felt so big and pregnant. So it's just like I didn't have any motivation to do anything, to talk to anyone or anything like that.
What was the most surprising thing you learned about yourself during this cancer journey?
I would say the way I handled it was very surprising to, like, for myself and for others. I grew from that. It was just a very surprising thing. Like I said, it's not something normal, or it's not something that happens every day to a kid. So it's just kind of like I went through that, and I learned how to kind of push through it, and not get so like depressed about it. I would say, I wasn't in a dark circle, like in this like little hole or anything. I just kind of, I went through that, and I just continued on with my life.
So you found out how strong you were throughout this whole journey.
Yes.
So how did you cope with the emotional and physical challenges of the cancer treatment and balance your schoolwork? Like, tell me about your support system during that time.
Well, I had an amazing support system. You know, I will forever be grateful for my parents, you know, my mom, my dad, and even my stepdad, you know, like they were all there at that time, you know, and it's just it's a low place that you're in when, you know, you're just stuck at the hospital. You're not doing anything like it's where you're living for that like amount of time. So, I mean, to kind of get through it, it was just kind of like you had, I guess, a strong mindset. You know, it's just kind of like, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's just for right now, you know, like soon I'll get out of this hospital. I feel like a lot of distraction helped too. So, you know, at the hospital when I was there, you know, they would bring like games or, you know, at one point they brought me an Xbox and I was just there playing the Xbox. I don't even know how to play Xbox, but, you know, and coloring was my big like piece at the time. I don't know what about it or what, but, you know, it was just there and it got my mind off of things. And also at that moment I found myself like praying a lot as well. I feel like that also helped me a lot, like just feel more at peace.
Were there any moments in your treatment or recovery that you felt completely overwhelmed and then you wanted to give up? How did you push through those moments?
Yeah, there was definitely, you know, a lot of moments that I felt overwhelmed and wanted to give up. I feel like and at that time my mom, she was probably my biggest like push through it all. Her and my tia, like they were always there and they were there to talk to me and just kind of push me through it. They were, you know, real big support. They were really supportive for me.
And you also mentioned like being able to color, and you know you prayed a lot during that time. So I'm sure all that helped you push through those moments,
Oh
right?
yeah, it was. They were very good. Like to get your mind off of things, very good distractions. You know, I feel like everyone finds peace. You know, doing some kind of thing, whether it's like coloring, reading, drawing. So mine was definitely, you know, being able to sit there and pray and to color.
Okay, so tell me about your teachers. Like you're in school at this time when that happened. So tell me about your teachers and your friends. How did they react when they found out? And did you feel supported by your friends and teachers in the school community during this whole ordeal?
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like the school as well. In a way, they were very supportive because when I was coming back, you know, my counselor, Miss Kelly Wallace, love her. Well, she just kind of helped me through it all. You know, she kind of told me what, you know, what needs to be done, and she, you know, little by little was just kind of giving me what I had to do. And every once in a while she would pull me out from class and just like talk to me and making sure everything was good, and she got me caught up like in school real quick. You know, she was very very helpful that whole time. And well, for the little bit of friends like I had made at that time, they were also, I felt also very loved and supported by them as well. You know, I think everyone was shocked though because, you know, it's just one day I didn't show up to school and I was gone for like almost a whole month. And so I guess when I, you know, came back and told everyone, like they were just like, what? But I had one friend specifically, Alondra. Well, when I was in the hospital, you know, she actually went to go visit me, and when I was at home as well, she went to go visit me at home, and she brought me like these little gifts and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, like the school and my friends were very supportive at that time.
Now, I know that all of that probably was exhausting and isolating. So, how did you maintain those friendships and that social life? Like, did you get out any once you know, started to heal up, or did you just stay in the house? Like, how did you maintain all of that?
Honestly, I didn't really have a social life. Like I was just, I guess, also like okay, after my surgery, I came back to school. I had went back to get my staples removed, and my incision ended up opening at like the bottom. And I had like this little like machine that's supposed to like suck my incision to close, you know, from the inside out, and it was like making fart noises. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to school like that with that. Like I was just very embarrassed. So I ended up staying at home for longer than what I should have, but um I didn't talk to anyone. Like, I had, my phone. I had people on, social media, but I just wouldn't bother to get on my phone and talk to other people, or get myself out there, because I was still very insecure. And I was embarrassed about it for a long time, because it's just like, I don't even know why it was embarrassing, but it was embarrassing to me. So I just didn't bother to, keep friendships or talk to anyone like that.
So overall, how has your perspective on life changed after going through such a challenging experience?
Yeah, people, like, I feel like people really don't lie when they say anything could just happen, like, in a blink of an eye, because that's literally how it was. But I think it just kind of, like, don't take life for granted, for sure. And I know everyone says that, but it's honestly the truth, because, I mean, you never know. Tomorrow you can wake up and who knows if you're going to be, sick or even hear anything. So it's just like, I feel like it changed my perspective with, like, wanting to go out and do more things, talk to more people, be more outgoing, and just do things that I probably would not do before.
So now that you're a senior in high school, you look back at your high school years, what advice would you give to others who are going through their own tough situations, whether it's health related or otherwise? What advice would you give them?
Um, I would probably just tell them, like, keep a strong mindset. As hard as things get, like, you're gonna get through it. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna, get through the impossible. At the end of the day, no one's gonna care what you do, or what happened to you, or what you have going on. It's just you have yourself. So just don't take anything for granted and live your life.
So I know you mentioned earlier ways that you stayed motivated. Tell us again, how did you stay motivated and optimistic, especially when things were tough? Were there any practices that you did, like journaling, meditating, or any other hobbies that made you stay grounded?
Yeah, so like I said, when I got out the hospital, I was still feeling like, not super, depressed, but like upset, just didn't have anyone. That's how I felt. But um for a while, like, when I was in the hospital, I got a lot of gifts, and there was this one gift. It was like Bible verses, and it's just like you read one every day. So every day, when I'd wake up, I would just I'd read a Bible verse. I'd go for a walk, like, around the block, because I couldn't be so active at the time. But I feel like just doing that also helped me a lot, because I did get offered, like, therapy or something, but not everyone's want to talk about, their feelings and stuff. A lot of people like to hold it in and kind of go through it on their own, and that's perfectly fine. But I do think, any little thing, going for a walk, coloring, praying, reading, anything like that, has a big part in helping you get through something, like, hard.
Okay, so I want to rewind back a little bit because you said, you saying going walking made me think about this. Before you actually realized that you had this huge cancerous tumor, will you tell the people, because you said you couldn't get out of the truck, you were in pain, but you also did something like you went and worked out or went for a run. Can you tell? I forgot about that
Yeah.
until you just said that about going on a walk. So let's rewind back and talk about before you figured out what it was. Tell the people what you did.
Okay, yeah. So, well, before I knew I had this tumor in me, I really thought I was gaining weight. I remember it was, I don't know, like, Monday of the week, and I went to my mom, and I was just like, Mom, like, I'm gaining so much weight. Like, I look so fat. I'm so pregnant. Like, I feel so sick. And I was like, maybe it's, like, we kind of both thought, like, oh, maybe I'm feeling sick because I'm gaining weight. And so on Wednesday, we went to the gym, and I ran a whole mile on the treadmill with a whole like tumor, a whole 15-pound tumor in my stomach. So, but we didn't know. And after that workout, you know, I went and I like was throwing up. I was like, oh my goodness. And we were just kind of shocked because I was like, this has never happened to me, you know. So I worked out because I thought I was getting fat, you know. So
And just for the record, she says that she felt like she was pregnant, and I believe when you went to the hospital, they first
oh
asked you
yeah,
if you were pregnant.
oh
I
yeah.
think,
One
yeah.
of the first tests was it was a pregnancy test. They asked, are you sexually active? And I'm just like, no. My mom's all staring at me, and I'm like, no, like no. And yeah, pregnancy test was the first, and then they moved to an ultrasound because
Right, and then that's
everyone
when they
just thought I
found
was
out. Yeah,
pregnant.
and that's when they
Yeah,
found out that you had to. Yeah, I thought
yeah,
we'd go back and because I remember you mentioning that to me, so I wanted to make sure we got that on here. So
yeah.
you've mentioned your mom a lot, and let's talk about the support system. How important was it for you to have a strong support system during your treatment? I know you said your mom, dad, stepdad, friends. How important is that, and can you share any particular moments where you felt their love and support and how they lifted you up?
Oh yes. So obviously, my mom stayed every single night there at the hospital with me. Like she was just there day and night, day and night. She never left my side, and I'm forever grateful for her and for that, because not a lot of parents will sit there for a whole month and live, basically live there with you. Also, my tia, she was there every day. There was times as well, like she would stay the night, and go see me, take me food and all of that. There's this one moment that really, like, I don't know why it hits me hard, but my stepdad, so I couldn't move after my surgery, and I remember my feet were so cold. And so I, had asked my stepdad, I was like, can you put my socks on? And he's not really so affectionate, but he did. He put my socks on, and it was just like, I don't know, that was like a little heart touching moment for me, because, well, I don't really know why, but it's just, that was it. That was a very like heart touching moment for me. But I do think like having a real good support system has a lot to do with like being able to get through something so hard. Um, like you just feel very loved and very, you have so much support, love, and joy around you. They were all very, very happy around me, bringing nothing but good energy around to me. And that just makes you feel like, oh, like it's not so bad. I have all my family here. Like, I mean, I don't remember everyone who went to go visit me because I was drugged up half the time. But I remember whenever I can remember things, like there was just so many like stuffed animals and flowers, and my room was just so colorful and filled with love. Like you can feel it, and so that just makes you feel really loved and makes you want to, push through something and get out of it and like actually like be better, like don't you don't want to be stuck in a dark place when you have nothing but joy and love around you.
Okay, perfect. So moving forward, how do you think this experience has prepared you for the future, both academically and personally?
I feel like going through that made me want to push myself harder to do more and bigger, better things, it just kind of like, it shows you like going through something doesn't always have to hold you back from doing what you want to do or doing bigger accomplishments, So I was, at that time, I was a freshman. When I came back to school, I was very behind in schoolwork, like backed up to the max. And my sophomore year, I was still behind a lot. And I decided, like, okay, I want to graduate a whole year early. So I sat there and I talked to my counselor, and we went over everything. And I did a lot of extra classes, summer school, taking online classes while my in-person classes. And I finally, this year was able to complete that all. And now I'm graduating a year early. I graduate this year, but it just, going through that pushed me. It helped me be stronger, have a stronger mindset, and want to accomplish way more than what I already knew like I could.
So as you prepare to graduate and move on to the next phase of your life, how do you plan to use your story to inspire others or make a positive impact?
Yeah, so I feel like my story could definitely have an impact on other people who probably went through the same thing, who are going through tough times, because I feel like my story just kind of shows like when you're at the lowest point in your life, when something hits you unexpectedly, like you're going to get out of it and you're going to be okay. You're going to probably do better than what you wanted to do, it's a motivation. It's kind of a motivation in a way. Like it motivates you to not want to take advantage and hold back on life, and it just really makes you want to like kind of get out there and do what you can. Like it shows you that nothing's impossible, like you go through something and you get out of something so tough, it's not impossible to get out of it. Like you can go for what you want to do.
So what message would you share with other young people who might be facing a similar challenge or health crisis right now?
I would tell them like it's okay to, go be sad and to be in a little dark circle, and it's perfectly normal. It's okay to cry and to allow yourself to feel all the feelings that you need to feel, because that's only part of, getting out of a tough spot. That's it's a little, again, it's a motivation, but at the end of the day, like it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay, and you are way strong enough. You're way stronger than what you think you are. It's all kind of like a mind thing, you're going to be okay.
Outside of your treatment and recovery, what are some of your favorite high school moments and memories?
I would probably say maybe my senior year. It's probably been one of my favorite. Well, it's been the most like exciting year I've had. I mean, freshman year was fun too. I think my favorite memory is when my friends came and invited me to sit with them at lunch because I didn't know anyone. So that was just like, oh, like that was so sweet because I didn't know anyone. But also besides that, I think definitely my senior year has been the best year. I feel like, I've made more friends and I've been a little bit more outgoing, and I'm able to get out there and do things, and I drive now, so it's better.
I'm surprised you didn't mention skipping class in there.
Oh yeah.
Is that because
senior skip? Oh wait, I take that back. Senior skip day was my favorite day. Probably we went to Six Flags, and I was just not at school while everybody else was at school.
Were you trying to keep that under wraps because you're scared your mom or your parents might hear this?
No. I made sure I made my dad buy my ticket. So.
Just for the record, she never skipped class.
Oh
ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
No,
So we don't want
just kidding.
We don't want to get you in trouble with that one.
That was my favorite dream.
Yeah, to skip class. All right. So is there something specific that you learned about yourself during your cancer journey that you think people will be surprised to know?
Maybe how far I've came. I don't think a lot of people expected me to. I didn't even expect myself to like graduate a whole year early and to be where I'm at right now. I feel like a lot of people thought like, oh, like I was so backed up, like it was just gonna take me a while to even get caught up, and I missed a lot of like school, so I had a lot of hours to make up as well. So I think what surprised me is just like how I continued on with life. Like sometimes I forget like I even went through that, so it's just kind of like it's surprising to me, like, oh, I went through that, I missed out on so much, but I'm still here where I'm at today.
So now that you've come through this experience, what are some of the things that you're most excited about for the future, whether that's college, a career, or just life in general?
I'm very excited to graduate. I'm also very excited to, start this new chapter in life. Like, I'm out of high school and starting college, and I want to go for a travel nurse. So it's just like, it's exciting to be able to, go out there and be able to go for my career, wanting to help others. I feel like I just want to help others because, I went through something like that, and I feel like I could help others and be there for others who went through the same thing. And so I guess that's like, it's just exciting for me, to be able to go and help others.
So tell me this, what are you most proud of when you think about that journey from freshman year to getting ready to graduate, the end of your senior year? What are you most proud of?
I think I'm proud of myself for like showing up to school.
And not skipping?
No, I think, yeah, that, and like, I'm just proud of myself for like, still coming back to school after that, even though it's just like, again, I found it embarrassing, and proud of myself for getting out there and talking to other people, and, just getting through high school. I guess I would say, like, high school can be tough sometimes. So I guess just very proud of myself for getting through it.
I'm proud of yourself for, not giving up and making it all the way through.
Yes.
Proud of yourself for not giving up and making it through it, because I'm sure that 15-pound or whatever it was, cancerous tumor had you kind of jammed, which is the title of this show. But
oh yeah,
I'm also proud of you for making it out, and you've turned out to be a great young lady, and I know you're going to do great things in the future. So as you reflect back on everything you've been through, what do you want your legacy to be when you leave high school?
I think I want people to always remember like how sweet and happy of a person I was, because I feel like all throughout high school I never really I was never rude to anyone or anything. I always kept like a good positive mindset towards people. And just, I guess, when they like kind of think of me or remember me, it's just like, okay, like, she went through something tough and she's okay. So if they go through something tough and they feel like they're not going to be okay, they could just kind of think back and like, she was okay, like that they're going to be okay.
Perfect. Cianna, thanks for joining the show. Anything else you want to share with the people? Any other words of wisdom for somebody that may go through something like this, for a young freshman that's sitting in this school or be in this school next year? Any last words that you want to give to them that they can take with them to get through their tough times?
You're going to be very jammed at times, but, you're not going to always be jammed.
At some point in time, you'll make it out, right?
Yes, you will make it out. And as much as things suck, that's what life is about. Life's not fair. Nothing's going to be fair. Everything's going to suck. But, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And you have to push yourself to get there. You do. You have to go through many, many, many things. But it's okay, because you will get out of that, and everything is going to be okay at the end of the day. And high school is going to be very challenging, but it's not impossible.
All right. You guys heard it from Cianna. Thanks for coming out, Cianna.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This was a great episode. So take what she said, take it to heart. If not, you may be jammed. Thanks for listening.